Just say no to the war on drugs. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that man was created by God with certain inalienable rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The Constitution holds the people sovereign by limiting the power of the state. Before the state may infringe upon the liberty of the people and impose penalties for behavior that is inherently criminal under natural law, actions that interfere with another individual's natural rights, the correctness of the law, as well as consideration of motives of the accused, are brought to judgment by common people in a jury trial. This is called justice. The war on drugs has been ineffective in reducing drug abuse, limiting the supply of drugs, and reducing drug-related deaths. Prohibition necessitates the manufacture of stronger and deadlier drugs, which are easier to conceal, while overdose deaths climb. The pharmaceutical industry has supplied a plethora of poisons, all claiming to be safer and less addictive than heroin. But so far, artificial opioids are more susceptible to abuse than the painkillers based on plants they replaced. These improvements have only turned millions of trusting, law-abiding people into desperate addicts, people following doctors' advice. The law is not designed to determine what is and is not a medicine to each individual. The right to life and liberty dictate that it must be the individual. Every intervention contains risk to the individual who is embodied. What if you suffer with glaucoma? The state will not restore your sight if you follow the law, to the detriment of your glaucoma, not taking an available remedy because it is against the law. It is your body, and the responsibility is yours alone. The state absolutely holds no compelling interest in these personal, private decisions. Furthermore, the state, in its supposed defense of the country, deliberately exposed the citizens to known toxins, radiation, and chemical warfare agents such as self-produced Agent Orange and made-in-a-lab COVID-19, and has perverted medical scientific research to hide their crimes. The United States has, in fact, poisoned the world. Scientific method is a specific procedure which aids in identifying truth. It is not truth with a capital T, the principle which is only known by God. The state is a sorry and incompetent substitute for the exercise of personal liberty under God. Our system of law cannot address the nature of these life and death decisions. The war on drugs was an elitist, racist lie from the beginning. The first federal drug czar, Harrry Anslinger, sought to increase his power by promulgating news stories exaggerating the effects of cannabis on Negros and Hispanics after America rejected alcohol prohibition, his former job. In an appalling abuse of power, Anslinger arrested and prosecuted doctors who favored the humane treatment of addicts. Yet he supplied George Wallace, the Senate Oversight Chairman, with heroin and syringes. He dined with Judy Garland while condemning Billie Holiday to a death chained to a hospital bed at the same time. Richard Nixon abused his oath to the Constitution by trashing a study that supported cannabis as a medicine in favor of being able to persecute his political enemies for simple drug crimes. Then, they deported and arrested and killed anyone opposing war publicly, like John Lennon, using drugs as an excuse. America, under the war on drugs, holds more people in prison without trial than any other country in the world. Poor Americans are searched and arrested without probable cause, held incommunicado, and are forced by their own attorneys and public defenders into surrendering their right to trial. Then they are warehoused in unconstitutionally overcrowded and unsafe conditions, with no redress, for indeterminate years of their productive lives. The state prison system has been privatized for profit and is incentivized to hold their prisoners for as long as possible, providing little care, rehab, or safety. Within the prison system, nonviolent drug offenders are exposed to every form of violent gang activity, extorted and attacked, and victimized by the actual criminals who are housed right along with the nonviolent. The federal government pressured every state and, in fact, every nation in the world to adopt its corrupt position, that the people have no right to the medicines they choose. We must undo this wrong because each state now is addicted to the federal money connected with this war on our liberty. In surrendering our rights in this prohibition, we have surrendered our bodies to experimentation by the war science community for their profit. In surrendering our rights in this prohibition, we have surrendered our bodies to experimentation by the war and science community for their profit. The number of secret, horrible experiments carried out without informed consent on us in the last 100 years keeps expanding, from injecting folks with radioactivity to the point where they were able to actually poison most of the world with a new vaccine, the results of which are becoming more alarming each day. Therefore, we cannot cede our liberty to doctors. The healthcare system is complicit with the government in its motives to utilize our bodies and control us. The war on drugs has corrupted our justice system. Police, by overstepping their actual authority, have become the enemy of the people and no longer enjoy a position of trusted protectors and servers. This has created more dangerous working conditions, and now they no longer have community support in their use of deadly force. This benefits the actual criminal class, who now are free to run the streets. While the police get more money to interdict substances, violent offenders actually get a pass. The idea that this war has had an effect on drug abuse is laughable. The corrupt war on drugs has destroyed law-abiding America. Liberty is now an arcane and empty promise, dependence seducing the public into apathy, the opposite of self-rule. When the people surrender the responsibility for their lives to the state, the result is unquestionably the common bad, not the common good. Elections are a joke as the political class ignores the will of the people, and the people deep down, no matter the propaganda, innately understand. The powerful interests love their power. In fact, they are addicted to it, and therefore the war on drugs has undermined our republic. And finally, the war on drugs, in placing the state above the people's liberty, has corrupted the rehabilitation miracle that is the Alcoholic Anonymous 12-step program. AA and its sister organizations are volunteers organized by a set of 12 traditions, liberty, personal choice, at the heart of the 12 steps, which are but suggestions. The only requirement for AA members is the desire to stop drinking. When the court mandates every person caught up for a drug offense into the 12-step groups, they are forcing the groups to admit people who don't meet the first requirement, diluting all recovery groups into mere meetings of addicts. Now, a for-profit rehabilitation system delivers a stolen and watered-down 12-step residential treatment program. Commercial rehabilitation that has little sobriety to offer yet produces immense profits for the healthcare government system. The political power grab, which has been sold to the people as a war on drugs, is actually a war on liberty. The American people have been lied to by the political class and law enforcement from the beginning about its motives, its effectiveness, its constitutionality. The facts do not support the power of the political class to say, do as I say and not as I do. Mass incarceration has failed to reduce drug crimes or deaths. Rehabilitation, when forced by the state, is doomed to fail. The undermining of liberty has corrupted every aspect of our republic, the justice system, and undermined the conditions under which we the people govern ourselves by creating apathy. Our inalienable right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness must be restored fully, and we, as a free people, must just say no to the war on drugs.